folks. Oh, heck. I had the volume down. No. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry it took me so long to get back. There was a bit of a head-on collision in the kitchen. Which is the name of my new band, by the way. But it has resulted in great benefits to me, because there was pizza at hand. And it is good. Alright, I figure maybe I should start out pulling up the creative test world. How do I put this? I don't really know how to describe this outside of... Okay, let me start from the beginning. And the beginning is the happy gas that are coming to the game. Hang on. Notification. Nope, turn that off. The beginning is the happy gas that are coming to the game. I thought to myself, alright, I should make some sort of stable for the sake of my horses and happy gas and pigs with saddles. And then I thought to myself, why would I make a stable place for my horses and other mounts to go when I could make a totally, completely unhinged place for my horses and other mounts to go? And that brings us to this. No, not actually. Not that one. I did do a little bit of experimenting with fireflies and such. Is that one off? No, that's on. Wait. Yeah, that was on. So this is off, so the fireflies should appear. And that's on. So they will stop appearing. And then right here with the moss carpet, this one is lit up, so it won't produce the fireflies, but when it's nighttime time, at midnight, it should make the buzzing noise. So if I were to moss... Stop a little bit out here, it's not really noticeable. And you can control it with, that to stop the, hang on. Aha, there we go, yeah. I've got, a daylight detector set up, hooked up to this one so that they will appear, near the water at night. For the swamp. I had a good time with that one. Actually, no, hang on. I have that yellow wool there for a reason. It was... assessment of the lily pad. Anyway. So yeah. What if I just make something a little crazy? And that's where this comes in. It definitely looks better with the stripes, I think. I'm not yet certain whether I prefer it with the dark background or the blue background. The item frames here with the maps, definitely not adequate. But it's a little difficult to see. Well, it is slightly bluer than yeah, I think ultimately this may be the way to go. So yeah, RAM. What does RAM stand for, you might ask? I think I wrote it down over here. Stands for Blockbuster Video. Not really, but yeah. I've come up with the aesthetic I like. Hang on. I think this is what I chose to go with, the polished basalt. Oops. So that will be... Yep. That'll be the trim around the bottom, and then the walls are made up of the yellow concrete powder, but a little bit of yellow wool scattered in there. Make it look like stains. We've got a calcite ceiling to look like popcorn. Popcorn ceiling. No, hang on. Is that correct? No, I went with... No, that's bone blocks. That's No, it wasn't calcite. Hang on. That's the one. Is that what this is? Yes. This is the one. This is the one that I settled on. Because they look like those ceiling tiles. And that's why I needed the pale oak wood. That, and also for the white signs for that. But anyway. Yeah. I think I have adequately captured the feeling of the inside of a Blockbuster video. And you might ask, well, why did you want to capture the feeling of the inside of a Blockbuster video? Yeah, that's subtler. I like that more. I did end up deciding on that. Take movie title 2, A New Foe, rated A+. And the reason for that is because it's a play on the name of the business that it would be simulating, so to speak. RAM. Nostalgia? Yes, K. Raven, nostalgia. RAM stands for rent amount. And I came up with a stupid slogan for it, too. We rent 'em out. You rent 'em out. And, on top of that, I cooked up some fake movie posters and little blurbs and such that can be scattered around the building like this over here. Promotional stuff. And the mounts themselves will be in little dioramas scattered around the building, made up to look like the big movie displays that you'd see in movie rental facilities such as this one. I wanted to do the little metal things with the red ribbon in between, but well, you can see how the rabbit is jittering in here. I did everything I could to stop that, but like, I couldn't quite capture it, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do for that. Once they add the ability to lead a fence post to another fence post, then we'll be set, but as it stands, that aspect is, as of yet, incomplete. I think I settled on the iron bars, but I'm not totally certain. I gathered up all of the materials that I might need for the sake of this, and bundled that up, and we'll pop over to the survival world now. This is the logo I settled on. So you're alive when Blockbuster was around. How many times have you actually been in a Blockbuster store? At one point, I think it was monthly. What books do you have in the shelves? That's a good question, and the answer is it doesn't matter that much. Well, I don't actually need this one for the... Anyway, so I will stick this there. No. It is there. I could copy some of the movie posters as well. But yeah, I grabbed basically all of the materials that I thought I might need. Books in here somewhere, yeah. What am I missing here? Oh, the end chest. I don't have an ender chest. Why don't I have an ender chest? Where did I leave that? Why did I lose that? That's peculiar. Do I have the means to replace that? That fixed up. I don't know. Maybe I left it somewhere of importance. Did I leave it in the library by any chance? Is that why I don't have it here with me? A little bit jittery. Not certain why. Anyway. I doubt I'm going to finish it all in one stream. Especially when I intended for this one to be a bit on the shorter side. Mostly I just wanted to get the project started. That was the primary purpose. I think... I want to put it over here somewhere. But I'm not sure where. I want to break ground on it. And I can do a little bit of work off camera. Some touch-up stuff. Maybe right there. Right next to the river. A little bit tucked away. Should be able to see the top of it from whatever structure I have poking out of the mountain here. But then I can also include an underground entrance to it. Yeah. It kind of feels like it'll tuck in rather nicely right here. Okay. Oh, I did not bring a shovel. Make a little dock here, I guess, and then perhaps this would be a good place for some sort of pier as well. Well, yeah, I don't want to leave from here what I want to leave from over there. No, that's just one big lake. Isn't it? Okay, I'd have to have a look at the map again. Be a bit more precise. And then I can actually have it nestled up next to the wall here. And then have some of the insides extend into the mountain. Just for the sake of space, because some of the mobs that we're going to be using here are on the larger side. Gas, for one, eventually. Camels and the horses and such are going to have some rather big displays, I suspect. So let me stick something over here so that I can put all of the materials in it. Check that out. A chest will do. Okay. Yellow wool, yellow powder. I made it all into mosaics. Why did I go and do a fun, cool thing like that? Rat. No, I didn't mean to do that. Take those back, nice. Check those signs. I think I happened to have 13 in my storage, and that's why I have 13 signs there now. This feels like a good level to build at, so let's dig down to that. I'm actually not totally certain what I want the outside to look like either. The outsides could all look different, but the insides, from what I can tell, were fairly curated for a specific look. Or perhaps that's just all buildings at the time with something like that on the inside. I'm not sure. Yes. Okay. I did not bring it back. That's fine. If a creeper decides to show up, well, I can help with excavation. make a good shovel. I don't know why I don't have a good shovel yet. Let me think. Where would a good place be for a sign? Maybe we place that later. There's gonna have to be a good way out as well. Do I make it the front door, or for the gas and the horses and such, do I make an alternate exit? I could. I could make some sort of slidey garage door type exit. The sort of thing that trucks would come up to. Maybe for the sake of refilling a soda machine inside, for example. Yeah, we should extend it that way slightly more. That feels like a better width. I distinctly recall them being notably wider than they were tall. And possibly... that I remember less well, the shape of the inside. I had to look up a reference for the inside. It's been so long. For dirt. Whoa, what? What's up, Cave Irvin? So what's the deal? That thing with the bundle? What thing with the bundle? Oh, are you unfamiliar with the glory that is bundles? Allow me to shed some light on the subject. How do you pick the exact item? Oh, that's the scroll wheel. Hang on. Check and jockey. Scroll wheel allows you to select what you want. Right click to pull it out. Left click to put it back in. And that's why things like this utility one here are so useful. No, you spelled it correctly the first time. Chicken jockey. With an E. What are you doing there? If it was not a spelling error, what are you doing? You're attempting to meme, but it's taking several messages. Chickeny... What? I'm afraid you've lost me. Get out of my head. Alright. I'm not responsible for Jack Black. I don't know if anyone can be responsible for Jack Black. Spider Jackie. Come here. That will be so unbelievably pervasive. In gaming culture, in Minecraft culture, and in culture in general, I believe. The memes will last forever. I saw someone describe it as... I saw someone describe the movie as Jack Black doing his best to not take it seriously. And honestly, that feels fitting to me. The movie knew what it was, and it did it well. I enjoyed it. Alright, so. I don't need so much black wool. That's for the... Did I bring iron? I did. Those are for trapdoors. For the ceiling. The black wool goes behind that. The floor is gray wool and blue carpeting, as I recall. So... yeah, let's do that. this and just swap out all of the wood now. I do not have enough. I do not have nearly enough. Holy cow. Okay, so. If I start by doing this. Main thoroughfare in blue. It's so much more. Holy cow. Okay, note to self. Start harvesting gray wool like there's no tomorrow. And then polish with salt, yellow concrete powder, and yellow wool. It's mostly going to be the yellow concrete powder. If I start with this, maybe. That's good. That's good. That feels good. Okay. The front of the building. It's 4 blocks tall. That's enough to run around with a horse. Not a ghast. Think about. Don't need the X really. I'm gonna get a little deep before I start expanding the width of the thing. There's gonna be a bunch of stone too, isn't there? Yeah. I'm gonna be digging. Into the mountain. Let's pull out the wood. Oh, but I'm gonna need so much more of this as well. And I don't have a farm for it. Okay, that's trouble. 2 things. We're gonna go get more gray wool. We're gonna start planting the pale oaks. can do a bunch in that area. I'll need a place for them over in the planned Arboretum. Where do we end up putting them? There we go. Need so much more than we have. Okay, so we have creaking arts, so we can get more resin. Easy peasy. Actually, I'm glad that I kept the bones. Didn't chuck them immediately. Absolutely sure that their leaf block areas do not collide, possibly removing sources of additional saplings. We're good. There we go. I believe these can't generate with creaking hearts in them, which is good for me in the long run. Okay. Now, admittedly, I don't remember the pattern with fog lights in the ceiling. Check out wouldn't be near the entrance. Not get more wall. No, not that. Did not bring enough iron either, I don't know. Well, if we can just get this entry area done, I'll work on more. As needed. I want glass in the front windows. Great big glass windows. Clusters in the windows, maybe. Good pizza. Whatever block is framing the windows. We go over the windows. Over the door. Yeah, 2x4. So let's go smelt up. Actually, I should have all of the ingredients at hand. This is what I have furnaces on me for. Sand right over here. Nope, goodbye. There. Something else frames the outside of the windows. Actually, what would look the most like shutters? Gray. Maybe gray. Maybe blue. Probably not blue. Hey, you want to donate to the cause? Not what I meant, but okay. I mean, I don't really need anything that isn't a multiple of 3 for that. Probably, I'd rather copper for lightning rods specifically. Right, we're gonna go sleep. Get rid of the mobs. Some more wool. Grab a bed. Could do some enchanting. What would look the most like shutters? Actually, what if I use bricks? I don't have a lot in way of clay, huh? No, I know where my clay is. So let me make another shovel. Iron here. No, I have iron in here. I have iron in here. There we go. That's right. I cooked up more iron. Right. Specifically for the sake of... Yeah. I didn't have a lot in... I didn't have a lot processed in my storage system. Was the trouble. Clay? Clay. Plenty of clay. I can't just craft this back into clay balls, no. I gotta process it again. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna need... Up, 4 over, 4 up, 4 up, 2 over, 12, 17, and then another 4 and 3 on the other side, so 24. Not bad. Oh, but I could use one of the other brick types if I wanted to. I could use these bricks. I could use nether bricks. Probably not going to use the red bricks. It would clash with the with the blue too much to use the red nether bricks. Honestly, I probably should not use the regular nether bricks anyhow. Soundtrack's almost over, so let's see. Let's do that one. Let me think. That'll do. I desperately need to update my to-do off-screen lists. Yeah, I feel like that's acceptable. I wonder... No, I... I think that would look okay. Let's try it out. In that case, I'm 4 glass over what I needed. Let me grab 2 light blue. Well, I want the panes. I want the blocks. Let's just use the blocks. Grab some of red wool. And share what I've got while they're here. You would not believe how many times Endermen have decided to come in here and plop down a piece of grass just wherever they pleased and let my sheep out. It's frustrating. I'm gonna need to check the design on the cash register. And then I'll put that right up in front. Planet Cable! Hello! How goes all? I'll tell you how's it going. We're making up some bricks for an interesting project. When was the last time you've been to a Blockbuster video? Let me think. By all means, think away. I have to imagine it will have been a while. This is not a mere icebreaker, by the way. It is topical. And this is why it's topical. Well over a decade, at least like a dozen years ago, the latest like 2012, probably, maybe, if that. This is why it's topical. I am making a Blockbusters. This is what I was going to do. This is what I was going to do for April Fools. I get it, Blockbuster, because Minecraft. Yeah. This is what I was going to do for April Fools, but then Craft Mine came out, and I decided I had to do that instead. They've got the long cases full of videos, and they've got the promotional posters and such. Cash register is just tough stair slab, polished deep slate with a Helix sign on it. Gotcha. The pattern is 2, then not 2, then over 1, and it repeats. And that's gonna be a little. Oops, that's gonna be a little tougher to line up. Yeah, let's 4 off the ground. Nailed the weird musky style. I can never hear that word again without immediately swallowing down a little bit of bile. But yeah, I'm glad you think so. I also came up with a great big sign for the front as well. RAM stands for rent amount, which is another pun in of itself. And the slogan is, we rent 'em out, you rent 'em out. And then I have a sign out front that's going to look like this. And I feel like I nailed the. You stick the ladders in the side of the sign, but it's kind of cruddy because you're paying the minimum amount possible to some poor teen who it's their only way to make money, and so they don't care so much about how it actually looks. Yeah, rent amount. And then I came up with a bunch of fake movie posters and blurbs for it as well. Alright, so let's see how much of this I can remember going back into the survival world. But yeah, the idea is this will... Okay, I made the joke earlier, so forgive me for making it again, but I decided what with the Happy Gas coming out soon, I should make a stable to put all of the everything you can ride in, including Bob 4 here. And then I thought, this is my world we're talking about. Why make a stable for animals when I can make something completely unhinged for animals? And Rent Amount was born. That glass. Stair, slab, tough slab, polished, deep slate, and a sign. Nice. Thank you, thank you. So there will be dioramas in there set up like the sort that you see in the great big pop-up ones that you see in movie theaters and such. And I assume Blockbusters as well. It's been a while. I love the idea of just a Blockbuster in an otherwise fantastical Minecraft world. I obviously did play around with the screen as well. I flipped it on occasion. I did my best to gaslight people into thinking it was something on their end. When I did Craft Mine, but yeah, that was still a lot of fun. I do remember that. Yeah, I figured you would. You got me pretty good, not gonna lie. Okay, okay. I'm glad to hear that. I think I got the right amount. Yes. I got exactly the right amount. Perfect. Okay. And then the glass. Okay. And this is kind of experimental that I did not actually build this part. In the creative world. I didn't know anything about the craft mine yet, so I figured it was part of the event. Lol. Ah. That would track, yeah. It looks like white glass peering into a very blue. I think that works. I think that works. It looks like it works well enough, I think. And then the outsides, I think the pale oak logs would work fine for that. Nope. Maybe? Yeah, maybe. Lore. Blockbuster only went out of business because their stores kept disappearing. This is where one ended up. Can you imagine that, though? Just entire buildings disappearing out of a world and reappearing somewhere else? That would be crazy. Just, one day you go to work at Papa John's, and the entire Papa John's is just suddenly in the back rooms. Bushes in front. I want to build a Blockbuster in every building game now. That would be hilarious. Note to self. When I play Stardew Valley, mod the slime hutch so it looks like a Blockbuster's. I mean, hey, we could always boot up Starbound again. Okay, so the register would be close to the door. Let's collaborate and build Blockbusters everywhere. I am absolutely down for this. Yo, true space Blockbuster. Oh, hang on. And the soundtrack. That's peculiar. And on such an abrupt note. Shovel Knight. Got this too. No, that's not correct. This. One of these, but also I need a stone cutter, which I don't have. The black stone was for the sign, right. I'm gonna take these out of this one, and then the brown bundle will be for things that I don't think I need anymore. Crimson Stem. Crimson trapdoor. I think the Crimson Stem was for making more trapdoors. Yeah, I don't think I had any other purpose for it. The Great Eye and the glowing sacks are for the signs. Stone cutter. Actually, two top of that. Why did I bring so much? Actually, Planet, what do you think? Do I make 2 registers? I would have exactly enough pale signs for that. I think I make 2 registers, 1 per side. Actually, I would only need the 1 cobble for that. There we go. If it fits, yeah, go for it. Alright, alright. I think it will. I think it'll be fine. The 2 registers in the front. Something behind them, maybe chests for related supplies. Don't go near that, actually. Sweating hand with it. Yeah. Yeah. Just about beefed it. Okay. Did I put the wood away. No, I didn't. I didn't. It's there. And then 2 sets. Presto. Okay, and 2 of these, and I misclicked. Dang it. Well, grab another top. There. No, there. And then slip out of there, I guess. But yeah, it's good to have you here, Planet. Yes. Happy to be? Yay! Now that makes me happy. Unfortunately, you missed die in the dungeon. Yeah. I mean, there's frogs in this game too, but not quite so prominent. I die in the dungeon on the TV for a little bit while unpacking. Unpacking, you say? Go on. Sounds like a story. Yeah, still doing that from the move along. How's that going for you? That's fine, I think. Good so far. New desk comes in Friday. Exciting. Okay, so I can have some stuff back here for storage, but also some posters put up in the window, like, I could put them on banners on fence posts, maybe. Or, no, I can just put them up against the window, actually. I can make a popcorn machine back here, I think. No. Yeah, they would sell you popcorn in bags wouldn't play. A vending machine, maybe something? Like that? I don't know. I don't know. They would sell candy, too. Some sort of, additional vending thing back here, I think. Maybe some kind of cardboard cutout, lol. That's what the areas where all of the mobs are stored are going to look like. No, this isn't quite right. I need... Gotcha, what if you did like a little soda fridge? Something like that, yeah. I'm thinking... Actually... not quite. One more over. I miss Blockbuster. My bro used to work there, and you get free movies from time to time. Oh, that sounds cool. That's not stone. It's fast. Alright. And cash register. Cash register. Bam. Okay, now I can have something behind there, something next to there, and then here a shorter version of yeah. It was also when 480p was considered the highest standard for at-home entertainment. Ah, yes. Let me see. What do they look like? Ah, crud! I forgot what the DVD displays are supposed to look like. That here, here, and here, and same on the other side. And actually, I make two fence gates over. Look better as trapdoors. I think I make more trapdoors, and then I actually power them from beneath. Yeah. Okay, so like that, and that, and then beneath it. There we go. Presto. I don't need blocks or anything of that. Let's grab the dirt, fill it in. There we go. Alright, cool. Might as well use the blue wool there. Yes. Okay, okay. Nearly an hour and a half in. Six. Yep. And I'm just placing the carpet down for now. I think I could maybe make it so that in some places the carpet will be broken through so it looks a little ratty and worn. But I'm not going to commit to that yet. Back to walls. Okay, and this will extend into the mountains so that I can have enough room for everything I want to do. I'm gonna need more concrete powder for sure. And a lot more pale oak wood. Something to work on when I don't have anything else to do, I suppose. Yeah. But if I put the first... Yeah, right here. Okay, I'm gonna have to check again what they look like. Okay. Forgive any jitters. The beehives. I forgot about that. Okay. 6 chiseled shelves and a beehive. That's very doable. I believe my bees are just on the yonder side of that ridge there. There should be a place where I can bust in without releasing the bees. Right up there. Actually... Never mind. This is a mistake. I think there's another place that would be easier to make sure I get it right over here. Yes. There. Close enough. Okay, so I'm gonna need a few. I think I have plenty of honeycomb. I'll start with 24 for now. Now let me think. Six chiseled shells. 4 crimson trapdoors. No, 5 chiseled shells. 4 crimson trapdoors. Plenty of extra spruce logs for this. And a bunch of hooks. Shelves, gonna be a bunch of slabs. Yeah. Play. Go. Okay. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beehive. Yes. And then that gets a dark oak sign. And this one. It would make more sense for that to go there. Yeah. Dang it. Silk touch pick. Okay. Go. I have a movie title for it. It's gonna take a lot of wood to get this done. A lot of books too, actually. Okay, let me pull up my documents. Ah, yes. I believe that was gray and with a glowing sack. I had stands designed for that. I want to say spruce trapdoor on the bottom, oak trapdoor on the top. Spruce trapdoor on the bottom, oak trapdoor on the top, spruce sign. Presto! Gotta get part of the ceiling in. We'll be well on our way. Salt can go back in. Need all the pillow clogs I can get. I'll need some more of that. The gray wool can get put away from now. Blue wool, I'll need a bunch more of that. Holy cow, I'll need a lot more of that. Six of them, that's... Wait. Yeah. Go. Couple more of those. And maybe Bob's display can be right here. Okay. this right first try. For maximum unsettling aura, do you think the frog lights should go in parallel to the entryway or perpendicular? If they go in parallel, it might feel like they're drawing you further in. If they go perpendicular, then it would be more obvious how staggered they are. I think we go perpendicular, but I'm not 1000% sold on that idea just yet. Okay, so then that one can look like that. And then next one goes there. There. I think. Sorry, stepped away for a sec. How goes the Buster? I think. I want to stagger them this way too. Not positive. Actually. Uh-oh. Not that one. Not that one. I'm not sold on the look of the lights in that current arrangement. But I'm betting the ceiling is going to look fantastic. I like the pale wood because it's a valuable resource at the moment. Go. I should just do it from up here. Also, the shield right click glitch is still a thing at the moment. I'm gonna need a massive amount of pale wood to get this to look how I want. Black wool. Pepper. Black wool. Pepper. The frog lights don't look quite right. They're not in quite the right position. I might go parallel to the entryway with them after all. But also I think I'm gonna open up the entire floor plan and then do them from below without anything getting in the way. Bonk, bonk, so to speak. But I feel like that's close to the vision. So I'm satisfied with leaving that there for now. For the time being. Spider eyes either. This string. As much of those as I want. That step underway. Floor plan going well. Last thing to work on would be the awning up top. And then the great big blue sign, except I think I'm out of blue wall. Very nearly. Yeah. We can christen it with a sign when the rest is done, I think. This is even, so it will work fine with the sign. I want to use something gray, but maybe a little bright. So not that. I don't want it to be the draw. Maybe darker would work. Maybe either deep slate or andesite. Skirt around the creeper. I really need to blow that guy up someday soon. A little bit of housekeeping that I have yet to do. I'll take some andesite with me, and I'll take some deep slate. Not blackstone. I don't like blackstone. Can we get down here? Mr. Gravel. There we go. That would be the most fitting height, I think. I'm gonna grab this. And I kind of want the top of this thing to look like a Pizza Hut because I believe the Pizza Hut in the neighborhood that we're at had taken over a Blockbuster building. Because this was always very Shingles to me. I love them. I do. They feel very, very much like Shingles. Nope. Ah! Okay. Just gonna... Ow. Oh, come on. Okay, hold up. Extend over the edge. Yes. Nope, not that. Ow! Come on. Top of the building, I'm not sure what to do with, but I'm thinking that I want to put something flat under there. Trapdoor, perhaps. Change up the texture. I wonder if I alternated iron and pale oak trapdoors, if that would look interesting. Nothing that I want to do there. Feels very abrupt. I don't think these should be bricks. I think this should be... or maybe... polish keeps that, actually. That's a bit better. Yeah. Fits in with both textures, actually. In its own funny way. Okay, hang on. Actually, what if... polished deep slate slabs. That look horrible. Maybe not everyone. I just need to picture it with the sign atop. Yep. This is the middle. Great big blue sign. Maybe I'd want it set back even further than that. I did not bring shears. Perhaps a little foolish given how much wool I knew I was going to be placing. That's like I've never played this game before. Come on. Stand on the blocks. It's not that hard. Just for a sense of depth. What game is this? I don't know. I just started playing it today. Yeah, that feels a little better. The depth works more. Okay. So that's... Ugh. What do I want to put on the underside of that? Because that's too much brick there. It's too much brick. No, I know what it needs to be. I'll start with 12. Two there. Two. No, that won't work. That will not work. This is fine, I think. Yeah, I think that's all right. What do you think, Planet? Gives it a little bit more shape, as opposed to just being a straight line, whoop, all the way across. I might want to block this off. Looks more dynamic. Thank you, thank you. It's not fantastic, but it's close to the original vision, I think. I might swap the bricks out for something I'm not sold on. But I'm at a bit of a loss as to for what that should be. And the inside also looking great. Definitely needs more decoration, but I'm going to hold off on that until the ceiling is closer to done, I think. And the frog lights, too, aren't in the correct location, but it's close enough to get a feel for what I want it to look like. Does this not evoke the square ceiling tiles in an office space or somewhere similar? Yeah. Shark Without a Cause, rated C, because that's where it takes place. I had a lot of fun coming up with the movie posters. Here, I'll show off the others. That's the one I already have. Yeah, it works well. OMG, the little jaws. I'm glad you like. And logo, which will be on the sign. Yeah. Okay, so we've got zombie film, also zombie film, zombie it film, I'm not sure, and then this one, which is based off of the golden apple from Greek myth. Because I found out if you actually use thing on top of a different color background, it still looks like a fruit, which is interesting. Like I put down the roundel, I think it was, yeah, yellow roundel, and then I overlaid the thing, the Mojang thing, on top of it, and it looked like a fruit. So I thought that was neat. Figured I'd include it. Yeah. I thought about having this be yellow skull charge with blue hair, and then I was gonna call it a zombie clown or something. I have all of the names here. Let's see. Okay, so we've got Shark Without a Cause. We've got Funhouse of Horror for the zombie clown. Unzed3, the Chompening, and Gapple of Discord, because the original golden apple from the myth was called the Apple of Discord, because it was used to set gods against each other. Smuck Movie Night, let's watch these. You know what? I'd love that. These are actually in reverse order. Oh yeah, and there's the rent amount logo. And that's going to be on the great big sign out front. And I think I want to do that last to christen the project. But we'll get to that when we get to that. I'm going to work more on the inside here, off-stream, methinks. Get at least most of it done, and then we can call it there, because if they add another mount, and I have no idea if they will, then I'll have to expand, naturally. But I'll leave a place open for that, I think. And then maybe the Happy Gas will just be in the back room. Yeah, there can be a back room, an unemployee break room or something. That's kind of very grim and gray, and that leads up to a room where the Happy Gas are held, and then that in turn can connect to the Wizard Tower, perhaps? Perhaps. This is a good start to the project, though. Let's stick that there. Yeah, alright. In that case, that'll be it for the stream. Thanks for showing up. Yeah. Feels good to get the project underway. Oh, there was actually... Hang on. Nope. Scratch that. Not the end of the stream. I'm going to collect some pale... oak wood and talk about something that I came up with the other day. A concept for a new ominous event. Okay, let me scoot this over a little bit, and then I can... There's not really a great place where I can put this, where I can also see chat and see all of the and see the game. That'll have to do. Okay, so here's the concept. Drinking an ominous vial. Okay, so I suppose I should lead with a little bit of backstory. I got in a conversation
with someone the other day about a couple of interesting things. We discussed the latest updates to Minecraft, and they said something along the lines of, wouldn't it be interesting if the Nether housed all of the mobs that you had ever killed? Because the Nether Wastes, back when it was only Nether Wastes, the biome was internally referred to as Hell. So they had the idea, what if it just housed all of the enemies that you'd ever killed? And that was one of the important ingredients for this little idea I came up with. The other one being, they mentioned that they go on Minecraft kicks, and that's true for a lot of people I know. And they were talking about how it feels like there's little incentive to... Oh, I forget what exactly it was that they said. But at some point they brought up another game that I might have been interested in. That they said I might have been interested in. Where the premise was you build a castle, but then you also had to defend the castle from invaders in some way. I actually forget what the game was called. But it got me thinking about a possible ominous event in Minecraft like that, because the raids are close, but not quite there. You can build up a village to defend it from a raid, but the villagers aren't interested in destroying the village. They're interested in destroying the villagers. And it would be interesting if they were more invested in some way in tearing down what you had made. And defeating you in that manner. So, it was not long after that that I started thinking about all of this stuff, putting ideas together in my head. And I thought, what if there was a new ominous event that incorporated these ideas? So, here's what I came up with. Drinking an ominous vial and killing something before either other condition applies. Or any other condition, I suppose. If other ominous events were to get added naturally. Will give you the ominous crystal effect. And summon an item on the ground next to you. So you would typically pick it up. Basically right away. Called a Dull Soul Gem. Having the Dull Soul Gem in your hotbar, or maybe in your offhand? I'm not sure how clear that would need to be. Maybe when you put it in your offhand, the little durability item type... the item... We could call it an item bar, we could call it an item utility bar, because for most things it relates to the durability, but for bundles specifically it relates to their capacity. So it would make sense, I feel like, to call it the item utility bar. Maybe putting it in your offhand would cause that to show up, which would... in your main hand or in your offhand. It has to be selected. And you wouldn't want it to be in your main hand for reasons we'll get into in a second here. It'll make the item bar appear. And that represents its level. Killing more things with the Dull Soul Gem equipped in your offhand. And you could do it in your main hand, but that would mean that you would effectively just be punching things to death. Hence why you would do it off. Killing more things with it equipped would level it up. item utility bar would increase with each kill, and then when it's full, it turns into the next level of item. It would go from dull soul gem to shimmering soul gem to glistering soul gem to glowing soul gem to brilliant soul gem. It remembers everything you kill with it, and killing bigger, meaner enemies will level it up more. When the ominous crystal effect wears off, the soul gem stops leveling up. And then maybe it gets a little tooltip or something to indicate that it is at capacity. I'm not sure whether I would let you level it up more by extending the ominous crystal effect with a more ominous vial. I'm not certain. Not 100% on the specifics of this, but anyways. Once you have the completed, I'll call it, ominous crystal, that is to say, its final form, whatever that might be, then you can move on to this to step 2. Placing a soul gem of any level on soul sand in the Nether causes it to send out glowy tendrils to other soul sand blocks in a certain radius, turning them for a time into the unbreakable, possessed soul sand block. This is your chance to prepare. You have you have both before you put it down in the first place and after you set it down to manipulate the area to your advantage. After a few moments, the tendrils fade, and ghostly mobs, matching the types you killed, mostly matching the types you killed to level up the gem, start to appear from the soul sand the tendrils traveled to, the possessed soul sand. Passive mobs will appear carrying ghost riders of hostile mobs in order to make them faster. And hostile mobs would appear as normal, or riding on top of a passive mob that you killed to level the soul gem. They could be leveled up with potion effects or gear based on the difficulty of the soul gem as well, the level that it was at in the end. They will target the soul gem to destroy it. If you hit them, they'll fight back for a time, but will refocus if they haven't been damaged in a little while. The event ends either when all the ghostly mobs are destroyed. They will be slower than their living counterparts, but have loads more health or possibly a considerable resistance effect compared to normal. Or when the soul gem is destroyed by the ghostly mobs. Either way, when the event ends, you would get the advancement "Finally at Rest" with the description: the lost souls found peace one way or the other. Hello. That's right, you're purchasing things now. Ah, ha, ha, ha. That's cool. You can purchase firefly bushes. Cool. I don't need any of this stuff. But it's very cool that you can sell stuff to wandering traders now. I am all for that change. Very excited that they have finished incorporating it. So sort of like a tower defense kind of thing. Yes, I was partly inspired by the Terraria event that behaves in more or less the same way. But yeah, either kind of reminds me of the Dungeon Defenders crossover. And yes, that is correct. But yes, if you win it or loses the event, you get the achievement Finally at Rest, the advancement Finally at Rest, with the description: the lost souls found peace one way or the other. And then you get that, like I said, you finish a soul gem event through any means. Defending a soul gem successfully rewards scaling levels of loot depending on the difficulty of the gem and the event as a whole. And if you successfully defend a brilliant soul gem, then you get the advancement Brilliant Cutting with the description: curate a top level soul gem. I don't need any of this. Okay. You can control where the mobs spawn, sort of, by limiting the soul sand available to spawn from. Available to be turned into the possessed soul sand, I should say. But a soul sand under the soul gem is always required. You have to place it on a soul sand, which means, while it prioritizes soul sand starting from the limits of its available radius, as far away as possible, it will spawn them from the soul sand under it if not enough soul sand is available for it to turn into possessed soul sand, making it far more difficult to defend. Farming it by leaving the mobs here is not recommended, because they will begin damaging it immediately after they spawn, before they can even be shuffled away somewhere else by pistons or water or whatever. And a Brilliant Gem level event, a Brilliant Gem level amount of mobs, will surely kill it. Let's see. Yeah, that was it. That's all my notes. You get better loot if you attack harder, nastier mobs in the first place. And in turn, it will make the Soul Gem event more difficult when you do so. So yeah, that's the idea. I'm really happy with it conceptually. What's stopping the player from building a box around the gem? That's a good question. Okay, this is where the mostly comes in. The soul gem will not only spawn mobs that you have killed. It will also spawn, from time to time, other types of mobs as well. Ghostly parrots, ghostly phantoms, ghostly endermen, just a variety of other things. And the reason for that is each of the... It'll mostly be the mobs that you killed to slay... that you killed to power up the gemstone. Perhaps the idea being that there are other souls buried in the soul sand that has been possessed, that in turn come out when the soul gem is nearby. But mostly they will be the ones that you killed to level up the gem. But the other mobs that can spawn, some of them will just kind of be useless, like zombies. If you didn't happen to kill any zombies in order to level up the soul gem, a couple of zombies and skeletons and such will spawn anyways. But then there are things like phantoms and endermen, and they will be able to get around any sort of defenses you could set up for the soul gem. You will be incentivized from building... You'll be incentivized to build defenses around the gem. But the mobs that spawn from the event will break through blocks if they have to. And endermen will be able to teleport past it. And things like parrots and phantoms and bees will be able to fly up to it if you just drop everything into a pit. So it won't be foolproof, but it will be a good idea to manipulate the battlefield in your favor to that end. So, in that vein, it's a good idea to make a path that the mobs will want to pathfind through, instead of just busting their way straight to the soul gem. Make a bunch of obstacles, so to speak, that they'll work their way around. Other sorts of things. And every player could approach it from a different angle in order to achieve the desired effect. But it will, in the end, require the player to either keep on their toes in regards to combat, or be very, very clever in regards to how they defeat all of the mobs. I wanted it to be not impossible to farm, but very, very difficult to figure out a farm for. You would be more incentivized to just do the event than anything. That sounds cool. Neat little building incentive. Game needs more of that too. Yeah. That's what I was going for. Anyway, with that done, padded out the stream by another 15 minutes or so. With that all said, I think that'll be it for now. I am dehydrated. Gonna call a stream here. Thanks so very much for joining me and listening to my silly little soul gem idea. I will see you next time. This weekend, I think I will probably end up streaming Sunday. And I am probably just going to do Balatro. We can get back to Rift of the Necrodancer next week, maybe. Maybe, I'm not sure. The next month, I think, is probably going to be a little busy for me, so there might be weeks where I go without streaming. I hope not. And I will keep everyone updated over on Blue Sky, so hop over there if you want continual updates. But yeah, have a good night, planet, and good night to everyone. See you the next time. Oh.